supposedly.
Supposedly. Hey, everybody. We are live. Hi, welcome to Double D-Fense. It is season 2, episode
Canada
7.
Day and 4th of July. So happy Celebration Day.
Sarah, do we need to explain what the 4th of July is?
I know what it is. You feel free to explain it.
Just making sure for the tons of listeners that we have around the world.
Thank you.
The
dozens of people. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Double Defense. We are an all-female New York Rangers hockey podcast with 2 New York Rangers fans and a Pittsburgh Penguins fan who is based in Calgary and is wearing a Vegas Golden Knight shirt. And just to add to the complication, we do have a special guest with us today, which is Matt. Hi, Matt. He is an LA Kings fan who still hates Edmonton.
That is not changed. Covered a lot here. There's a lot of ground.
There's a lot of ground.
And Matt lives in Vegas, so Matt still has to go home and deal with their egos. So, you know.
Well, I love that we're combining like every team because we might as well, because we're in the middle of all of the trades and rumors about trades and free agency. And there's a lot going on, especially for our New York Rangers. A lot of moves that have been made. I think maybe we just jump into it. The signing of Jonathan Quick as the new backup goalie. So bye Halak. I'm personally sad to see Halak go. I'm sure he will. I don't know what he's going to be doing, if he's going to keep playing or what. But obviously, with Quick there, I don't think that there's any room there with him and Shesterkin. So, hey, Matt, you obviously know Jonathan Quick. He's been, super important member of the Kings, and then for a minute was with the Vegas Golden Knights. Somehow won a Stanley Cup with them too. What do you make of that trade?
I think this from a Quick fan perspective and from a Kings fan perspective, I think this is the perfect way to go out if he does go out. Spend your entire career, essentially your entire career with one team, win 2 cups with them, become their best goalie in franchise history, spend 1 year with a random team, win a cup there, and then end your career with the team that you grew up watching. How could that not be a perfect career? Just like his
kind of like another well-known guy that went through the Kings but ended up with the Rangers.
He essentially
that guy.
Yeah, that guy. The other guy I cried about. He essentially when he signed his 8-year extension a long time ago, we all thought that wouldn't pay off, and it did. At least until the very last year, which was this past year, on his contract. So he was, this. I could not think of a perfect way for him to end his career with the team that he grew up with. I don't know if that's not how you feel on the Rangers from a hockey perspective, but as a Quick fan perspective, this besides ending his career with the Kings, this is the next best thing, and I love it.
I love Quick. I've always been a Quick fan. I think he's great. I was a big Halak fan too. He really grew on me over the course of this year. So the only part of me that's not super happy about this is just, I think he did a lot for this team. And I don't think it's, the nicest send off to him that they just jumped onto somebody else. Obviously,
well, don't forget, he kind of said he was going to try the open market too. So, I don't think they just bolted him. That news came before this Quick trade. So
Jonathan Quick also did a lot for the Rangers.
Did he hold Hank's head when they lost? I mean, I'm sure. I'm crying on my shoulder.
I'm sure
he did. Well, we'll circle back with Jay on that one. I'm sure he knows.
Sure
I did. No, I got it. I did get a text from Jay saying you guys got Quick. I'm like, we get everyone. We just get everyone.
But that means we're gonna have a great party and Jay's coming out. We're gonna have to rearrange that when the Rangers are in town.
Or are they adding the retirement home?
It is the place to go. And then, so Matt, what do you make of Wheeler to the Rangers as well?
But I am worrying for the Rangers because they are getting older. but I think this is one of the better signings. I think I'm trying to look at the. Trying to find the details exactly.
So that you kind of touched on something where that's what we're seeing is like, here we had the kid line 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were the youngest, we had the youngest average, of the kids. And now all of a sudden we've got this new coach and we're bringing in some older players. I've seen talk of just these mixed kind of bag of emotions on that, where, we're bringing in guys that are more susceptible to injury, but they have the experience. And that's the other thing that's kind of flipping around, is that there might be the experience that's going to come around to kind of shake up these younger guys, to give them a little bit more confidence, maybe have them play on the same line and kind of give them the time we did not see them get, that we wanted to see them get.
It's interesting you say that, because I've heard that about Quick, that he is actually a really good mentor behind the scenes. And, not that Shesterkin needs like a mentor or anything, but Quick does have, a lot of experience, a lot of playoff experience under his belt. You never know what kind of like good vibes and what good energy somebody like him would bring to the team. So yeah, I totally hear that. And I think I heard Wheeler and Trouba were very good friends when they were playing together. So it's an interesting get the Trouba.
Well, we need new bonds since the Tarasenko, love triangle thing is all shattered now. So
yeah, exactly. So
look what happens when you shave your head. Things just happen. So
I'm looking at the contract details. $800,000 for 1 year. I would like that if that wasn't like, if the Rangers didn't keep bringing in those guys. I understand 1 or 2 or 3 veterans, but it feels like I joked about it being a retirement home, but it feels like they're picking up everyone who's above 35.
Yeah, who'll sign for cheap. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Well, there's still and there's still a couple of contracts that have not been signed yet. Most notably, Miller and Lafreniere. So nobody's really sure what's going to happen here and what is sort of the next step. It's a little bit curious that they haven't been signed yet. I don't know if Drury's working on something weird.
But Drury, there has been talk that Drury's confirmed that Laffy's not getting traded.
Okay, so what is that? Where does that leave us? Where does that leave us with the rumor that I started?
A happy Liz. Make him go somewhere else. Bring back Reeves. Who's in Toronto. So yeah, we have to move on, because like we had some trades, but oh my God, the Panthers in Toronto. What the heck, So the Panthers traded half. No, is it? No, at Tampa Bay. So, the Panthers traded Dugas over to the Ducks. I think that's funny. He's such a freaking thug. And then you got Pat and Stahl just got traded, and Maroon's traded, and Reeves is in, and then Toronto's picking up everybody under the sun.
Yeah.
So
I was going to call Toronto the retirement home. And I think aside from Reeves, who got 3 years, the other 2 that I noted got 1. So I thought that was interesting. It's a strange move.
They signed Reeves for 3 years. That's a long time. That's a long time. When you're already 97 years old, that's a long time.
I know. I mean, in typical Toronto fashion, they're just going to end up paying him out anyways, right? Like that's what Toronto does. But I don't know. Like even between like Pittsburgh and Calgary and just everything I've been reading today, because thankfully Christy and Liz were keeping me up to date on trades and signings. I guess the last little bit.
I couldn't even keep up, man.
Oh my God!
Saturday morning, it was like freaking a wildfire. It was so quick. I just tried to keep up as best I could, and I can only do that with the Rangers. So I was Matt will give an update too on what he knows more of the West Coast stuff with you. But then, this whole week they're still wheeling and dealing because we're focusing on who they're getting. We're not yet still quite sure on who they're keeping. Yeah. And we are seeing some heavy, some big hitter trades.
It's bananas. Because I was away all weekend and I didn't have great reception. I was only just looking at everything else this afternoon on top of what we were talking about Friday. But yeah, there's nothing really like hugely notable here. Like, I mean, for Pittsburgh, they signed a slew of talent, but I think the big one for me was Ryan Graves. He was to be one of the top free agents across the league that they signed. So there's a lot of excitement around him. And then Noel Acciari, I don't think I'm saying that right, but he got 3 years, and him and Kyle Dubas know each other from Toronto. So like that sounds like a big one. Tristan Jarry returns is what every headline I saw, but did he leave? I don't think he left. But he was undecided. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm really not sure. And Calgary just looks like they're playing Moneyball with the Flames. There's nothing notable happening there. They have a slew of signings, but there's nobody that is selling jerseys with those signs. So I don't know. Matt, I'm curious to hear what you have to say.
A lot going on right now. I'm following outside of the Kings. I'm following like the Kyler Yamamoto saga, where Kyler Yamamoto gets traded from Edmonton to the Red Wings, but they bought him out, and now he signed a 1-year deal with Seattle. I always like Kyler Yamamoto, not just because I think he has a lot of potential, but also because he's a junior King. He came from the Kings organization, and he ended our season last year, so that was fun. But yeah, it sucks that he hasn't really been able to work out with Edmonton under that offensive firepower. I'm hoping he can do well in Seattle. Pretty fun fan base, I think. Pretty
so
nice
Seattle's like
kind
of our next bucket list thing, right? And last year for Edmonton, so Connor McDavid now is the star. Okay, so we kind of will flip over to the most boring award show I have ever witnessed in my entire life. I wanted to punch myself in the face. It was so bad.
That's a statement.
They were trying to act. Every time one of those female country singers came on, they shot into commercials, so they just cut them off.
And you know what they did have? We had a joke because in our award show, we did have an award for best hair. So did they.
Whoa! Who had best hair? I missed that one.
It was like a sponsored. It was like sponsored by like Go Cuts or something. It was like
every commercial Jack Hughes
commercial. Yeah, it was ridiculous.
That is like I've seen that.
Best flow.
Who got the sponsor is?
It was terrible. It was pretty painful.
And then the draft was not much better.
Was it better or worse than was it better or worse than making Will Smith sing the entire Fresh Prince theme?
Worse. It was terrible.
Way worse. Way
terrible.
Worse.
I mean, I think I posted, we're watching it so you don't have to. Yeah. It was terrible.
Worse than franchise legend, Montreal Canadiens franchise legend mispronouncing the name of the 5th overall. No?
Yeah, that was funny. But that's okay, because that was 2 days later, and that whole event was just as terrible. So I don't know, like what they kept trying to do. They kept trying to have a gimmick for every announcement that they had. I missed.
Also, I realized that Nashville is technically it is a hockey town because they do have a team. But is it really? Is it really? The country music thing trying to combine with hockey did not fly at all.
No. Will someone just take control away from Bettman? Like, this is just one horrible story after another.
Did you follow that? Because I think Sarah wasn't in the chain, but I can't imagine you catching up because I was like, oh my God, this is the worst. What is happening here? Like who was the host? So that country guy, they had his kid on there.
Oh yeah, the kid was hosting. His kid hosted half of it.
He was like terrible. 4. And then they were trying to ag, and like Pasternak comes on talking about Barbie. I mean, it was so bad. Like they're so cute. They just need to not talk.
It was Dirk Bentley.
Not good. None of it was good.
He's got a big presence here in Calgary, and Stampede starts this week, so I think he's here as well.
See,
Great Clips
Great Clips, yes.
Great Clips, yeah. Which is
it was Jack Hughes every 10 seconds on a commercial.
Whoever's selling these sponsorships, Great Clips is like, I don't even know how to compare that. It's like the Dollarama of hair salons. Like it's the NHL. Like,
yes,
you want
true.
You want something a little more
Matt has an account
quality, right?
Grew up with Great Clips.
That's the only place I go. I go twice a year. I got twice a year great clips, and you can tell.
They still could have sponsored it. It just could have been a little bit more organically delivered. I just think like it's nice that they do this award show. It's nice that they, honor everybody, and it's fun. But I just think they need better writers, better hosts, better musical acts.
So we did see that Jack Hughes did not win, and that Kopitar won.
For sport, like a sportsmanship award.
Yeah.
How was Jack Hughes even nominated for that? He's awful.
He's pretty nice off the ice. I got to give him that. All these players I hate.
Nice.
All these players I really hate are kind of actually nice off the ice, and it's making me hate them more because I want to hate them.
Is it like Goon? Kind of, maybe?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think that's the perfect comparison for
well,
that.
Connor McDavid won everything, pretty much, and so kind of going back to kind of where I started. We digress off this. It's always my fault. But they, it was funny because Matt had said, this is the one team that actually puts more money and time and effort into the team, and they ended up doing worse than they did the year before. So I mean that's been the talk lately. Is just it's almost like getting Connor a cup, like, and how I guess watching the trading activity so far, do you think Edmonton, and kind of you were touching on Edmonton, Matt, is like, do you think Edmonton's is getting that build where, because they traded Nurse, they traded some of their kind of key, kind of notable, the ones we saw that were excelling, but they traded them. So as far as building up that Stanley Cup win, now I think Canadian teams have a harder, they have to get there because they have been missing the playoffs for so long. So
Bettman.
What do you think now in their build to get up with Edmonton to get like McDavid a cup? Do you think he's going to stay or he's going to end up going?
I think he's going to. I think he's going to stay, but it's just like it. I say this every year, but it always feels like the Edmonton Oilers have the best roster on paper. It's hard to see them getting any better. Like genuinely, I feel like all the moves that they've done feel lateral, even though overall I think they are a better team. It feels lateral because it's hard to imagine them getting any better on paper. It's just that 1 year in the play, or it's just that one series in the playoffs that you never get past, and it's always like that every year, and it's like a record. It's a broken record.
We know that feeling.
Matt, do you have any conspiracy theories against Bettman? Like, it's been thought for a long time that he, like, anytime that the Canadian teams get close, he does something and they just magically disappear. Largely for revenue purposes, I'm sure.
Because you just say like Bettman died in
Canada is like,
and he's been replaced.
No hate to any Canadian fans, but half of the enjoyment I get out of watching hockey is watching Canadian fans rip the hair out of their skulls.
Yeah,
that's hilarious to me.
Yeah,
in Montreal.
To every team.
I loathe Montreal. Like, I can understand Montreal, but like, I don't know. It's such a thing. Like, I thought if anyone could get close this year, it was Edmonton for sure. I mean, we had that conversation before. I'd just be curious to see if like we get a new commissioner and magically there's like a Canadian team at the final. I definitely don't think it's coincidence.
That's fine.
I'm fully with you. I think I actually do agree with Christine. I think he died in 1992 and he's been AI ever since. But AI was programmed to not want any Canadian teams.
It's kind of jilting a little bit too, because he's getting a little bit more wobbly, a little bit, and I didn't realize like he's teeny because compared to like some of these young kids who are 6'2", he's a tiny guy too. So
I like to imagine he's weekending at Bernie's, everything.
Someone's puppeteering him behind the scenes.
That was my nickname this weekend. Oh my God.
Well, there you go. Did you hashtag it on the post?
No, I should have. There's a bunch of photos that didn't make that real. That's okay. Anyways, yes, I'm curious to see. I think new commissioner, just to see how far the Canadian teams get, at least in the first year under a new commissioner, and we can't be that far away. Really, we cannot be that far away.
Is he given any?
What year were you born, Matt?
I was born mid-2000.
Oh yeah, so you've only known Bettman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Mid 2000. He's born in 2000.
Like
That was such a
Bettman-
fancy way to say that.
like mom doesn't watch baseball, and I don't think you guys either. But I will like
I watch baseball.
Bettman sucks, but he is not as bad as Rob Manfred. We are
Mm.
thankful that hockey does not have a Rob Manfred.
Maybe they should do it like a presidential term where you can only like be in power for like 4 years, and then you have to get
100%.
They're
you have to
just
get
going to
like voted.
rotate out 2 guys. That's the
Need to
owners.
make it-
The owners are going to vote, and then they're just going to rotate out the two same guys.
Yeah, but then you can say like, if you served before, you can't serve again.
I'm going to have a nightmare tonight where both the MLB and the NHL vote to swap commissioners every year.
Oh,
That is my nightmare. Yeah.
you never know. That might work. The less
Oh,
they do,
oh,
the better
yeah.
it'll be.
Yeah, you bring in
Okay,
someone who
that's
has
the
no
nightmare.
idea.
It working. Yeah.
We could bring in Roger Goodall, from the NFL and really switch it up.
I mean, really.
brain injuries for everyone.
Yeah, where are these women?
The
Where are these
Flake
women? Like,
Yeah,
people like,
come on, Emily Kaplan, time to step up.
girl,
Oh.
that's a death to life right there. Did you see?
She was representing at the NHL Awards.
Was she?
What color did she wear?
was.
An
Oh,
ugly pink thing.
There was somebody who had the really nice green dress. There was somebody with a very nice green dress.
Oh,
that we were
everybody.
talking about.
Oh, that was funny too. So at the award show, everybody wore green dresses. We just came off of seeing Bare Naked Ladies, which is Liz's favorite band. Bare Naked Ladies.
I insisted on wearing a green dress.
Yeah.
So she wore her green dress, and they have performed before at I think Winter Classics or some other events like with the NHL. They're fantastic. So it was really funny to see so many green dresses. That was a female hockey player.
Was it Sarah Nurse?
It was Sarah Nurse.
Yeah, she looked great.
Yes.
She looked phenomenal.
We
I think
saw her.
I think they made her give away the award for that haircut thing. I feel like whatever it was like not the right.
But everybody had green dresses, so there was something subliminal there that
That's hilarious.
they should have that band there next time, and not any one of whatever played there this time. It was terrible. It was just a grade of a Z. It was just so bad.
Yeah, in our award shows for worst NHL award shows, the NHL awards wins for worst. And
the good guys weren't there. The people that were there that were hanging out, it looked like they were having fun. But I'll tell you something too. We see these guys so well dressed during the year because they're putting out the pictures. They're I always used to joke that I can spot like the hockey player anywhere in an arena, like the ones that aren't playing, that are just walking around, because I don't know, it's their suits seem generic or the way they wear them, like they're easy to spot. But now they're just getting so fancy. And even at this award show, they weren't as spectacular as we see them in just normal games. So that was, it just had such a level of disappointment where I don't know really how you can. They need a party planner.
You know who wasn't there? Mika and Chris, because they were both in Sweden while Mika was at Lollapalooza, and Chris was there supporting him, which is just the best.
I saw video today.
There are pictures and video.
There's videos of like him DJing, and then he's jumping around and bopping around.
Chris is right there supporting his man. I love it.
So,
well, I was hoping that Matt might be able to give us a little bit of sort of the scope of what's happening for the rest of this free agency time period. What has to happen in the next couple of weeks? Are there any deadlines that, as fans, we should be looking out for? Maybe Matt could give us a little bit of the lay of the land of what the next couple of weeks has in store.
Well, I'm not sure if this is good news or bad news, but the news of it is the craziness. The craziness is probably over, right? We're gonna see some signings definitely trickle in the past few days, but I think the March Madness of free agency is over. So we can all process these signings. We can all evaluate our teams. So what we should be looking at now is in the next few weeks, in the next 3 or 4 weeks, our teams are going to have rookie camps where they're going to try to bring in new guys for their farm teams, or maybe a surprise guy for the main roster. I know that the Kings are having a rookie camp this weekend, and I'm hoping to go to. I don't know if it's the same thing for the Rangers, but the Rangers or the Penguins or any of the Canadian teams, but
they put out their schedules. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think the camps start this week, next week for most of them.
Yeah.
That we're seeing.
But yeah, there and then the
Look at that,
season,
born in like 2005.
I know, right? Matt, even Matt started to get older than these guys. So Matt, I do have a question. So since I think this is the first time I was kind of half paying attention to the draft. So and definitely watching again, this is where the guys shine that we kind of keep an eye on with their podcasts, like Jeff at Mind Your Pucking Business and all the kids that are chatting on our chat board. Those guys are nonstop. They know cap space, they know salaries, they know that kind of stuff. So it's really like to pay attention to all that stuff. Now, the one thing that was interesting in the whole first round of the draft was that there were no trades, and they were kind of seeing it as just being, an interesting turn. Like there's usually some wheeling and dealing in the first, first couple of rounds, and we weren't seeing that. So how unusual is that for the NHL to kind of go through that?
I think right now it's very unusual. Like, we're not seeing a lot of trades. We're seing
these new draft picks.
Yes, we're seeing trades. We're seeing a lot of I know there tend to be a lot of sub $1 million signings, but I feel like this is the first year where we see this much. This
and the short-term trades too, like so these are like low risk trades, and I kind of get that. I think it sounds good because if the team doesn't do well or you have to revamp it up, then you only got these 1-year contracts, which they can definitely turn around mid-year or at the end of the year, depending on how well everyone's doing, right?
And it also works to the players' favor too. Right now, right now the debt to the owners for COVID is paid off. So quick short of it, the NHL has a 50-50 revenue split. The players have gone into debt with the owners because of COVID. That should be up this year. And so now we should start to see the cap start to increase by that 5% that we're seeing every year. And we should see the cap go up for the next few years. So when players sign short-term contracts, they're hoping that they can prove that they get that extra salary, and that extra money bag that they want.
Like Jimmy Vesey did.
Mm-hmm.
And we're keeping him. Yeah. So interesting. Yeah. So just like it's a crazy year where we, even throughout the year, we were commenting on the things that we saw that were like anomalies in the high level, like from a high amount of goal, posts, hits to what appeared to be like an extreme amount of overtimes and scores and stuff, to even like this post game or pre season kind of activity where we're not seeing a whole lot of trades. We're seeing a lot of free agency deals come up and a lot of people being open about just testing the market. And if the market doesn't pick them up, then they got to start, and then they got to start wheeling on within their own team to kind of see. So, I can see that starting to solidify. And that's what I see in Toronto, right? So, in talking with Canada yesterday, I was my girlfriend over there. So they're bringing in all these other people, but they don't care about like who we've got. I'm like, no, they're still there. But, now you got to start kind of, getting them signed and solidified soon too. So they're still open, just like we have our, a couple guys that are still.
Yeah, there's still a couple of floaters out there. I think Kane is kind of looking broad to see what else might be out there for him. Yeah.
But yeah, this is a weird era to be a contending team. This is why I'm very fearful of teams like Anaheim that are starting to climb up. Right now,
from the bottom, they have nowhere to go.
Yeah, we're by the time that they are going to start to become good, they'll have an increased cap to hand out to guys, and make their team extra powerful.
And they have a really cute new jersey too. If you haven't seen the new Ducks,
I love it. I love it.
Very cute. We'll have to post it.
It's
the duck hockey mask again. Like a little like snide look on its face. It's very cute.
The teal and eggplant.
Yeah, it's nice. That's interesting. So I guess any predictions, Matt, based on what you're seeing, like any predictions for this coming season, who's going to be a hot team? Anybody who's going to crawl out of the woodwork?
How about Toffoli going to Jersey?
Toffoli going to Jersey. I don't hate that.
people are nervous about trades like that with Jersey kind of adding some power in there. Toffoli's kind of been around, but he's been a good player.
Well, how do you guys feel across the river? How do you guys feel about Toffoli going to Jersey?
Anybody that Jersey gets sucks. Hate him.
I'm more like someone just needs to trip up Hughes and shut him up.
You didn't hate Toffoli before?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
He's like a Where's Waldo these days. I have to find him because I blink and he's like he was on Toronto, then I blinked and he was somewhere else. And
Calgary. He came from Calgary to the Devils. He was a great asset for Calgary. One of the players I would have fought to keep. I don't know. Calgary's a mess. They're definitely not one to watch. I don't think
he was a great asset. He was the only team he wasn't a great asset for was Vancouver, which I thought was kind of funny.
How old is he? He's 31. He's 31. So he still has a couple of years left.
Yeah. So what age do you think is too old to be playing now?
In general,
are we going by human years or going by Yager years? Because there's a difference.
Yager.
I love Yager.
I saw a video in Vegas. Yeah, you can't. He's an anomaly. You can't. Count
Yager's been playing since the puck was cow poop.
And still
Yager.
playing well. He still can hang in there.
Yeah, he's still playing in Europe on the team he owns. It's pretty.
Well,
funny.
I think the interesting thing is, what we've seen with the younger guys is quicker, faster, and kind of more shots. We haven't really seen younger, bigger, more physical kind of players.
Because this is a generation that likes to talk about their feelings, Christine.
I know. They still wear skinny jeans or
just want to talk.
Yeah, I have noticed that was getting younger and faster. But the playoffs are still the same physicality that we all expect. It definitely does get softer in the regular season, but the playoffs haven't changed. In fact, I think they've gotten even more physical.
I did like how everybody kind of really lit it up, with testing their physicality. But again, I always say that I think the West Coast has more physical attributes in their just regular games, which gives them an asset in the finals versus the East Coast teams, which, kind of rely more on like their skill and everything. And that still, I think that still held true, for this round as they went through it. So
I think it's an interesting thing to talk about retirement because I really don't think we're that far away from seeing Crosby and Ovechkin and, the likes of them. It's not this year, but I don't think we're that far away. Is it 40? I don't know.
They came in the draft in 2006. So if we're talking, they're going on in 3 years, it'll be 20.
Yeah.
20 years.
Bananas.
That's a physical game to, do that to your body year in and year out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would it take? What do you think it would take for like Crosby to retire? Would it be
one more cup?
You just have like an orb fly through your screen.
He would need Ovechkin to retire too.
Probably, yeah.
They are going out at.
Who do you think would go first?
I think they're going out at the same time. I think they're going to call each other up and be like,
"This is the year.
You want to outdo me. I want to outdo you. Let's not do this."
It's like the odd couple, kind of.
Oh, there's a secret new bromance right there. Ew, but ew.
Krovechkin.
Okay.
We're appealing to the young generation by bringing up the odd couple. Yep.
But I'm wondering, since they both missed the playoffs, it's like if it was another in a row, like would that be, kind of a time to say we're done, versus if they did make it, to risk not making it again.
And do you think either one would go on to coach?
Ooh, I don't know. I think Ovechkin might coach over in Europe.
What about Sid?
I don't know.
He's interesting. He's interesting.
Do you think anyone would listen to him?
I just think he goes the route that Gretzky does. I think that's a path that's already kind of paved for him. And if he wanted to, he seems to love the game as much. But
Gretzky
can he replace Bissonnette on the panel? Because can't be worse than that.
It's not bad listening to Sid. Sometimes I listen to Gretzky, who I adore. I mean, I think everybody does. But sometimes I'm just like, what are you going on about, right? Like, I don't know. Sid's a little more like analytical versus Gretzky likes to like throw in his like personal stories, and there's no wrong way. Just that there's a little more broadcaster quality, I think, to Sid, although I can't imagine him calling games or anything, but I don't know.
No, he's a terrible actor on that All-Star game. Whatever he did was terrible.
I should send you a reel of his Tim Hortons coffee commercials. He does them every year. I think he's fantastic. It's not a stretch for him. I don't know.
It sounds very cute.
Do you remember that old Ovechkin Crosby thing in the All-Star game?
Yeah.
It's terrible.
As long as Sid doesn't get as much plastic surgery as Gretzky has, because I have a hard time watching Gretzky on camera because his face. It must be because his face does not move.
It's not
yes, that's what it looks like. Like he cannot close his eyes, and he just like has one look.
When
it sucks because he analyzes pretty well. You know, I think he's a great analyst. I think when they're in on it, like when they tell the jokes and stuff, it's great. But it's when they just show the desk, he's all, you know.
He's always from the side.
Whoever he's talking to
knows what
visual
the
joke
is.
for podcasts. Love it.
Yeah.
Whoever he's talking to offside should just come like in front of the camera, so then at least he's like facing them. I don't know, it's probably Janet, but like, and every time Janet and Paulina's filler person comes over, maybe he just doesn't sit in the chair and get a whole bunch of filler done. That's my guess. Is it not filler and Botox? I don't know.
Maybe it's that.
He's getting all the leftovers from the women. And any organ. It's like, I only have enough for this side today and like over here tomorrow.
I always thought when he was with Edmonton in whatever capacity, like in this management side that he was in the last term he was here, he just always looked so tired. I'm like, how can someone look so tired all the time? I mean, the man probably
he doesn't look tired anymore.
Well,
that's a Botox.
Just puffy.
That works. It keeps his eyes open because he's sleeping. That's all. Like I kind of said that. I'm like, it looks like he's sleeping. But then again, they don't give him a lot of time to talk on the thing. So when he does, it's meaningful and he's just kind of stays quiet. So an interesting round of like thing. Even at that award show, Bissonnette with his cowboy hat, and he's annoying as shit. And I'm guessing people like that. So I do like that Bedard, like he just gets him and kind of is already all over him on stuff. So, this 18-year-old kid's going to have a lot of, a lot of fun interviews and stuff. And then, and then we have, I luckily didn't hear Emily too much, but I think a lot of these drafts were not foreign kids, so she didn't have to practice her language too much. She just had to practice her accent, from wherever she thought she was going to be from. And so that's someone just needs to put her out of her misery too. But she wasn't at the award show, which was nice because it was on TNT. It was the draft where she was there, but she was posting on Instagram.
Yeah, she was
boring.
She's
boring. I know.
Christine, how do you really feel about her?
She's boring.
I was hoping someone was going to post a picture of her from her other job, bartending at like the award show or something.
Yeah. I know exactly where that lady is. She's in Palm Springs at a bar. Emily Kaplan too. She had way more personality in the 3 words that she said, than I've seen in a whole season of Emily Kaplan. So
yeah, absolutely.
We have to work on that. That's always something to look forward to because now it's like, as the summer's going and like I got to change package deals, with like cable and everything. It's going to come up quickly. What we're going to do and how and so the schedule. So again, every time, and I know it's not just us, but every time I see the schedule, I think we have 13 back-to-back games. And I think Liz, you were like, it doesn't even look that bad. Or someone was like, no, it doesn't even look like we have a whole lot. I'm like, 13's a lot. So
13's a lot, but then there's some weird like empty holes in it. So I'm not sure exactly why the schedule is
done here and there.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's very strange. And clearly nobody consulted us to find out what would be convenient for our schedule because that Calgary game is just not at a great time. However, Vegas Golden Knights is at a great time. We're looking at the Rangers coming west, I think, in mid-January. And that's when they're going to play the
It's
Kings.
a good schedule. I'm already
And
seeing
Pittsburgh.
some East Coast people planning trips. I got Paul and Ted and people. I'm already seeing things went out for them to kind of get, some trips out here. So definitely looking forward to, getting a good group of people together and stuff. Matt, how do you feel your schedule looks?
I kind of hate it. When we go over to the Metropolitan Gauntlet, we don't play New Jersey, which is weird. That's very weird. So it goes I think there are 3 different East Coast trips. One East Coast trip is Columbus, Montreal, Islanders, and Rangers, not the Devils, which is weird. Why do we have to go to New York twice to play the Devils? What? And then the other one is like Buffalo, New Jersey, and Boston. It's just like, what?
Oh yeah, those are where they typically keep them really together, and I think they did that for us here. Coming out to the West Coast, I did see, and I have to look at it again. I don't think we're playing. Are we not playing Pittsburgh 3 times? I'm like, what? I don't like what
we're playing. No. It's one. I see one game. I'm sure we're playing them a second time.
Wait, look. I was confused.
Two. There's 2, 3. We're playing them 3 times. Okay. It's just not all in the same week.
Oh.
Like it was last year.
Is that what it is? I had to find it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That was such a weird little scheduling oddity.
It worked out perfect though.
The Vegas one looks good. Like it's January 18th, Vegas and New York, and then January 20th, Vegas and Pittsburgh.
Yeah. There's going to be a lot of exciting stuff happening. The Kings play the Rangers on December 10th. But that's
is that finals week, Matt? I think it's finals week.
I'm hoping that finals ends the Friday before. That's what I'm hoping. I haven't looked because I always mom knows that I'm a procrastinator and I don't look at stuff. I haven't looked, but I'm hoping that's the
considering he's graduating soon. It makes me nervous.
Yeah, let's say that. Yeah.
I will say we do have, looking at the Rangers schedule, what is interesting is April to end out the season. We're going to be facing the Devils on April 3rd, the Canadians on April 7th, then the Islanders twice on the 9th and the 13th, and then the Flyers and the Senators. If things are tight at the end of those games, the April 9th and April 13th will be huge games. Is
that Easter? I wonder if that's Easter.
April it's around there. And we have a whole month of travel. So I think we start off the whole month of October with one home game and all on the road games.
Yeah, which is, I think it's okay. We are a good road team. And we're playing, the Sabres, the Blue Jackets, and the Coyotes to kick off the season. So good opportunity to bank a couple of wins. And get the season off to a good start.
So that'll be us next as we're watching these trades start to kind of, finalize and start to kind of hone in the teams and watch them. I know that some of these kids are keeping an eye on the camps that are going on now to kind of see where these guys are going to, where our new draft picks are going to, fall in or out of and what they're going to do. So that'll be exciting to watch. And then to also figure out how to watch. So that's another question, Matt. If I wanted to see what the status of my draft picks are, how do I even find out? Because all I have is really Instagram and Twitter.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Good luck.
I don't know how everyone knows. These kids on our site, they know everything.
Okay, so there's a lot. So if you want to watch your prospects, you have to watch either the Canadian Hockey League, which are the juniors, or the NCAA, which are the college league, or you can go to AHL TV, which is the American Hockey League, the minor league hockey league, or you can go on a scavenger hunt and find how to watch NHL games. It's mostly
find those random things. That's what you need young college students for. They know how to access all the things. So
it'll mostly be on ESPN Plus with you guys luckily being out of market, or you can buy MSG Plus, which is something I found out was a thing.
MSG Plus, though, you technically have to have MSG in order to get MSG Plus, unless you've like jerry rigged something else. So it is very, that one's a challenge.
Can you VPN? No.
Yeah.
I spent like an hour yesterday trying to find the Gotham match on MSG Plus, and I was just like,
oh well, you can't find it.
Not even the illegal streams are bothering with MSG Plus. So
wow. I know our NHL 66 app, which is really great for like 2 years, just collapsed over this beginning of the season. And appears to work for some people, but it never worked for me. So that'll be a challenge. I'm going to, as I get back from my trip and everything, as we get closer, I'm going to have to start figuring out how I'm going to be able to watch these things.
Well, I think one of the great things that we did at the end of last year is I think we figured out all the bars that were willing to turn on some Ranger games for us. So I think there's a couple of locations in Southern California that we have to check out some games. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to.
I'm excited to go to Australia. That's fun.
Oh, that's right. That's right. They're kicking off the season, aren't they? Isn't it Boston? Isn't Boston playing in Sydney or Melbourne?
No, it's the Kings and Coyotes.
Oh, it's Kings. I thought Boston was also going. I thought I read that it's a different year.
Game too.
The Coyotes.
Yeah. Because they have a couple Australians on their team, and I think the Kings. I think the Kings do from Jordan Spence.
It's all this stuff. You got the outdoor games are coming back for the Kings. We've got that outdoor classic in February at is it MetLife Center, like MetLife. So, and then Matt had sent something over from Reddit where it was like it can fit 2 full hockey rinks, and wouldn't it be fun to play 2 games at the same time with 4 sets of fans along, which would fit everybody.
Yeah, the field is big enough to fit two rinks lengthwise, and so we can have 2 games going on at the same time. Could you imagine Rangers, Islanders, Devils, and Flyers fans all in the same stadium at once?
It would be amazing.
And it would be like a Goofy. Have you ever seen Goofy like hockey? Where it's like you're just brawling and all you see are things flying. That's all it would be. It'd be just a big giant cartoon via drone.
They should do it all on one rink and then just alternate periods. So
oh my god.
So that's a thing. That's a thing, right? There's a day that they're all like 16 teams are going to be playing. And they're alternating or staggering all the game times.
On a Tuesday.
On a Tuesday
in October.
Who decided this?
That's like Hockey Day in Canada, where all the Canadian teams play. They do that. They stagger all
and they're like, this is great. I'm like, why? I mean, you can't watch one game, let alone 16. So what's the point of any of it?
I don't hate the idea from like if you put it on the weekend and make 16 games, start like an hour, half-hour interval, have a full day of hockey, make that a holiday. They actually used to do that used to do that with college basketball. This was ESPN.
This is one day. Now, if they made it all in big city green cartoons, so that like we're not the only team that had to play a grandma goalie. Then let's if you're going to go and do that, I mean, something we can watch. That'll be the interesting question is like they're staggering him, but I mean, none of us can really everybody only gets really one channel, and then very few people get 2. So how are they made to watch this? That's not clear. So so that'll be a curious day.
And I do hope we get another cartoon game. I definitely do.
I was just going to bring up that like the ESPN had one day where they had live college basketball on for 24 straight hours. There were some teams they started in Hawaii, so it always wasn't that bad at the start. But there were some teams that played games at like 11 and 12 o'clock at night, and some teams that started at 7 a.m. And it was fantastic. And I want that for hockey. Like, if we have
24 hours of. So we can't even people can't even stay awake to a second overtime.
Okay, whatever day this is, we're going to come out with we have to come out with the official drinking game of double defense for the hockey marathon.
And I hope our next commissioner is that inclusive to think about things like what Matt is suggesting. I like that idea.
There used to be a minor league hockey team in Vegas that had a midnight game every year, and I want that back.
That's very cool.
Back. UNLV brought that back, but it's not the same being professional, and I want that back for the Knights for sure.
Oh, I have discovered that is it the Savannah Bananas? There is a hockey. I'm not going to say equivalent.
It's baseball.
Do you know what the Savannah Bananas are,
Oh,
Sarah?
I love this.
No.
They're a baseball team that's almost like the Harlem Globetrotters of
Oh my God, you're
baseball.
gonna love it. They're
So they do
Go to their
dances.
Instagram.
They have a really great TikTok. They'll dance in the middle of a game, and also you're encouraged to bring your glove to the game because if you catch as a fan a foul ball, the player is out. So there's a lot of participation.
Oh, I thought you had a game with them.
them.
Wait, we should make up rules. I need to go to a game. They were just here too. I think they were here.
Even as a baseball fan, they don't play baseball. They play banana ball, where they add 9 rules to the game. And I like banana ball more than I do baseball.
Wow.
Banana ball.
Yeah,
Well, I have to find the name, but there is a hockey equivalent. They're not as exciting, so they're really not equivalents. But it'd be fun to kind of see some of that. So it kind of gives us more to explore as we're learning summer things. So, since our last episode, we did post, we had a great night, a concert night out at the Greek Theater here in LA. Sarah represented well in Canada, going to see Nickelback, and that looked amazing. And you also sent me what was it, 2,000 jumping inflated dinosaurs?
Yes. And I think it's Dundurn, Saskatchewan. I'm going to screw that up. My friend Shauna went to attend this
Book a record
thing on
It
Canada
looks
Day.
fun, but I think I would have died, because it was crowded. Everyone's in a claustrophobic, sweaty suit. I mean, oh my God. But
I think
hilarious.
she had that costume. I mean, she snowboards in it. She's had it for a while, and I think someone sent it to her as a joke, and she legit made her Canada Day plans to go be a part of it.
Oh my God, you need to bring that with you, and we're gonna introduce it to Liz's inflatable doll.
It's coming to Vegas.
I learned the best story about, but that was when we were going to we almost floated away in our California storms during Liz's birthday weekend. So we had to bring inflatable, anything that was going to keep us floating.
Shauna would be great to bring to Vegas. She is a Toronto Maple Leafs fan by birth, but because she's been in Calgary for so long, also sports the Calgary jersey. And her man Cliff works for, I think, the Saskatoon Blades. Or he did work for Saskatoon Blades, and now he works for the Prince Albert hockey team. I don't know. He's in the Western Hockey League somehow, some way.
It's cool.
Wow. She's a fun time. She's a great time.
So we
got to start making the Vegas plan soon.
I know. So what's coming up now is we're going to start planning our next, kind of season, active season. Some road trips are looking exciting and good. We miss Sarah greatly. And we need to be together.
Yes, we do.
So looking forward to that. And I definitely want to give a shout out as we're coming quickly up to our hour that we are sponsoring a pop culture convention this weekend in Casper, Wyoming. So I'll be heading out there on Thursday, and it's fun. We got some voice actors, some guys from The Sandlot, which my dad used to take Matthew golfing, and Matthew learned to say shit at the age of 4 because of that movie and my dad. So that's a nice little connection. And so we got a couple of actors from there. We got Tom Arnold's going to be there. Ming Chen is, he's great. He's a dive bar guru and was in Clerks. We got some actors from Land of the Lost that are going to be there. And Charlie Schlatter too. He's a good friend of mine who has been an actor his entire life and does the voice of the Flash and the Cheerio Bumblebee. E.T. He was the voice of E.T. the series, and even Ferris Bueller, the TV series. He was Ferris Bueller. So a couple different things. Leilani Shu, who's in Star Wars, and there's another guy from Pirates of the Caribbean and Walking Dead. So there's going to be a bunch of actors. Hopefully we get a lot of patrons that are coming in. We're going to explore what Casper, Wyoming has to offer. We're going to need a full report.
We're going to need a full report.
I know. I think I'm going to enjoy the fact it's like 100 degrees here in LA. So and I'm sitting here sweating. So I think I have a nice glow about me right now. So I'm looking forward to being a little cooler. And I hear the air is really fresh up there too. So I'll be there all weekend. I'll definitely be reporting back. We definitely have some nice gifts and goodies that we're going to be passing out on behalf of Double D-Fense. I'm representing well, so we're continuing to have fun. We're going to share all our fun antics and and things that we have. You know, we do have a girls' weekend in LA coming up, so all those things we represent double D-Fense in some way, shape, or form, and we're keeping the summer alive until we, you know, have our first season game. I will add too that Matt and I actually hit up the women's soccer game last Sunday for Pride Night, and hey, it was a fantastic night. Liz, you know, we should hit a game up. I mean, it's fun. The people are really fun. The giveaways that you know, it's exciting. I think the game goes by fast.
You know my thoughts on soccer,
huh?
You know my thoughts on soccer.
Well, it's not rugby.
It's not rugby.
You went all the way to London to watch soccer, right? You're a huge fan.
You did. So, I mean, it was fun, you know, and so, but it was also Pride Night. So I will say that with all the things going on and with what we've kind of talked about too, and even here where we're seeing kind of different clashes of things, I have to say the one of the things that I enjoyed most, not just sharing kind of a fun night with my son, and we had a great time because we can both drink now. so when he buys me a beer, it's kind of cool. But that, you know, to see so many happy families, younger and older, dressed and in pride, you know, tattoos and stickers and hair colors, and just everybody coming and enjoying and having a great time for the time that they were there was really refreshing and sweet to see. Everybody was happy. Everybody was really friendly. You know, sometimes you'd feel like you can't, you know, even, you know, sometimes in hockey, at least that's why I like going to the Rangers. Because again, I think some of the Kings fans are mean, but, you know, I feel like a part of a family of stuff. So it's definitely, you know, an environment that is welcoming and exciting. And I, you know, it'd be nice to hear from people that, you know, that it's like this in other places too. I will add one more thing that we will kind of follow up on for next time, maybe. Is there's news out that there's a new women's hockey league being created that's going to be starting in January. And I think the owners are based out of LA. So I just started looking that up just about an hour or two ago. So we'll get more information on that and talk about that because that'll be more exciting to see more women's hockey.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
On that note, everyone, happy 4th of July.
Happy Canada Day.
Happy 4th of July. Happy Canada Day.
Every day is Canada Day.
Not if you're a hockey fan. All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.